Friends, welcome to Diamond Group of Institutions, NIT and KSET online classes. Okay, today we are going to discuss about the motion in straight line. If we practice 200 problems or 300 problem, also something remaining for this chapter. So, concentrate first formula based chapter only, this one also. So, some different model questions I will explain you, concentrate on that one, and the remaining problems yourself you have to practice. Okay, now see the first question. A displacement of a particle is related to time t as, so they given the displacement x equal to the at plus bt square minus ct cube. Here displacement they given as a function of time, I written here. Okay, where a, b, c are constants of the motion. Okay, those are the constants. The value of the particle, sorry, the velocity of the particle when its acceleration is 0 is given by, that means we have to find the velocity where the acceleration is 0. Okay, na? So at what time acceleration is 0 we have to find first, and at that time what is the velocity we have to find next. Okay, na? To find the velocity first we have to find where the acceleration is 0. Okay, they given the displacement. If we differentiate the displacement with respect to the time, we will get the velocity. Okay, now dx by dt will give the velocity. That means I am differentiating this equation with respect to the time. So a, t ka differentiation 1, okay, b, t square ka differentiation 2t minus c, t cube ka differentiation 3t square. Okay, now differentiation. Next, we have to find the where the acceleration is equal to the 0. Next, again we have to differentiate this velocity. If we differentiate the velocity with respect to the time, we will get the acceleration. Okay, na? First differentiate the displacement, we will get the velocity. Differentiates the velocity with respect to the time, we will get the acceleration. Otherwise, double differentiation of the displacement will give the acceleration. Anyway, both are same. Now differentiate. This is the velocity now. So differentiate with respect to the time, we will get the acceleration. A constant, so 0. I didn't write here. Okay. So b into 2t is there now. 2t ka differentiation 2 only. So b into 2 minus. Either 3c is there. T square ka differentiation 2t completed. So this is the acceleration, this is the velocity, and this is the displacement. They are asking the velocity of the particle where the acceleration is 0. Now equate the acceleration to 0, then at what time this acceleration is 0 we will get. Okay, now acceleration we got 2b minus 3 into 2 6 ct. Okay, 2b minus 6 ct equate to 0. Okay, na? At where acceleration 0, there we have to find the velocity. Now I equate 0, I found the t value I got b by 3c. At a time b by 3c, acceleration equal to the 0. So if acceleration equal to 0 at this time, so at this time what is the velocity we have to find. So velocity equation we know already. In this equation we have to substitute the t value. So velocity equal to a plus 2 into b, 2b into t is there, 2b into t place we have to substitute b by 3c. So b by 3c minus 3 into c, 3c, t square plus b by 3c substitute. So t square plus b by 3c whole square. Now simplify this one. A plus 2b into b by 3c is nothing but 2b square by 3c minus either c, b square, b by 3c whole square there, b by 3c into b by 3c. 1 3c will be cancelled, we will get b square by 3c. Okay, do the simplification fast. So now a plus either denominator mein 3c is there, add the numerators, 2b square minus b square. So b square by denominator is 3c. So at b by 3c time, the velocity of the particle is a plus b square by 3c. A plus b square by 3c. See, like this. Okay, na? Easy problem. And the next, see the next question. A body starts from rest. Okay, na? A body A starts from the rest. Either I am writing A is start from the rest. Initial velocity of the A is 0. With an acceleration a1. So acceleration of this one is the a1. After 2 seconds another body b starts. Okay, na? After 2 seconds one more body b starts from rest. This initial velocity for the b also 0, rest, and an acceleration is a2. So your acceleration of this one is the a2. If they travel equal distances in the 5th second after the start of a. Okay, na? So a, how much distance covered in the 5th second. Okay, so a covered some distance in the 5th second, same time B also cover the same distance. At what time it will cover the same distance we have to find. Okay, see now at the nth second, the distance traveled by the body in nth second, we have the formula Sn equal to the u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. This is the formula, remember. Okay, so A started first. After 2 seconds B started. Okay, na? A first started and after 2 seconds B started. Okay, at 5th second, how much distance A covered? Okay, if A is at the 5th second, B is at what time? Okay, B started after 2 seconds. Now A is at the 5th second means B is at the 5 minus 2 3rd second. Okay, na? If A is at the 5th second means B is at the 3rd second. So the distance, if they travel equal distances in the 5th second after the start of A, whenever the A is at the 5th second, how much distance it is covering? At the same time B is at the 3rd second and it also covered the same distance. Okay, so now 5th second the distance covered by the A I am finding. So S phi equal to the u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. This formula, u is the initial velocity 0, acceleration for the a1 by 2 into 5th second, n equal to the 5 minus. So simplification, S phi equal to the 9a1 by 2. Okay, now whenever the A is at the 5th second, B is at the 3rd second. Why? Because B started journey after 2 seconds of the A starts. Okay, now B ka initial velocity 0, acceleration is a2. Now 3rd second में the distance covered by the B particle. Okay, so now initial velocity 0, acceleration a2 by 2 into 2n minus 1, 2 into 3rd second, n equal to 3 minus 1. For simplification we will get S3 equal to the 5a2 by 2. Okay, distance traveled by the A in 5th second is equal to the distance traveled by the B is in 3rd second. So these distances are same. Now equate these two. 9a1 by 2 equal to 5a2 by 2. 2 will be cancelled. They are asking the a1 is to a2. So ratio. So a2 send this side, a1 by a2 equal to, we are getting 5 by 9. So 5 is to 9 is the right answer. Easy problem. Okay. See the third problem. The water drops falls at regular intervals from a tap 5 meter above the ground. Okay, this is the tap 5 meter above the ground. So the third drop is leaving the tap at instant the first drop touches the ground. Whenever the third drop is leaving the tap, then first drop is touching the ground. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so how far above the ground is the second drop at that instant? So what is the displacement or distance of the second drop from the ground we have to find. Okay, see now, so first drop is the time taken by the first drop to reach the ground, first we have to find. So the drop is falling from the 5 meter height. So now the time taken by the first drop to reach to touches the ground, the formula is T equal to root 2h by g. Height is the 5 meters. So substitute we will get the 1 second. That means time taken by the first drop to reach the ground is 1 second time. Okay, so whenever the first drop touches the ground, then third drop is just leaving the tap. That means the time interval between the third and first drop is the 1 second. And the next here the drops are falling at regular interval of time. That means the time gap between the two successive drops is nothing but the 0.5 second. The time gap between the first and the second is a 0.5 second. Third and second also 0.5 seconds. So now after 0.5 seconds, what is the distance of the second drop we have to find from the tap? Okay, na? So the distance traveled by the second drop from the tap, okay, S equal to ut plus half a d square, it is falling freely. So initial velocity equal to the 0, and the next time taken by the second drop is 0.5 seconds. In 0.5 seconds, how much distance traveled by the second drop from the tap? So S equal to ut plus half a d square. So u value is a 0, initial velocity, plus of g value is 10, and t square, t value is 0.5 whole square. Substitute and simplify, we will get S equal to 1.25 meters. That means the displacement of the second drop from the tap is 1.25 meters after the 0.5 seconds. But they are asking the question, how far above the ground is the second drop. So the displacement of the second drop from the ground they are asking. So total height is a 5 meters. So from the tap it is at the 1.25 meters. So then what is the height from the ground means? So from the ground 5 minus 1.2 we will get the 3.75 meters. A option is the right answer. Next question. Fourth question, a car is moving along a straight road with a uniform acceleration. So here it is moving with the uniform acceleration. It passes through 2 points P and Q. Okay, here we have the P point, here we have the Q point, some separated by some distance. Okay, by a distance with velocity 30 km per hour and 40 km per hour respectively. So this is passing through the P point with 30 km per hour, 30 km per hour, and passing through the Q point with velocity 40 km per hour. Okay, so the velocity of the car midway between the P and Q, at midpoint what is the velocity we have to find. Okay, if we go with the general way it will take time, so easily we can do. So if the particle is in the uniform acceleration, that formula applicable. Okay, uniform acceleration and across the P with some velocity and across the Q with some velocity, at midpoint we have to find the velocity. Direct formula is the velocity at midpoint equal to the square root of Vp square plus Vq square by 2. So velocity at the P square plus velocity at the Q square by 2. Okay, the velocity at the P 30 km per hour, 30 square, plus velocity at the Q point 40 km per hour, so 40 square, and simplified 30 square means 900, 40 square means 1600 by 2, 900, 1600 to 2500 by 2. So after simplification, do simplification I did already, so we are going to get the answer is 25 root 2 km per hour. 25 root 2 km per hour. So the particle is moving with the uniform acceleration and crossing the 2 points with some velocities. If they ask the velocity at the midpoint, use this formula. Okay, easily we can do this one within the 15 seconds. Now see, a body is accelerated from rest at constant rate alpha. Okay, constant rate alpha, accelerating and starting from the rest sometime, and then deaccelerated or decelerated at constant rate beta. So it is decelerating with the constant rate beta until it comes to rest. Until it comes to rest, if the total time taken is t. Okay, total time. So first accelerating, reaching to the maximum velocity, and decelerating, and velocity is becoming 0. Okay, though this total it is taking the time t. Velocity attained by the bodies, the maximum velocity attained by the bodies, this we have to find. So if they give this type of problems, if we go through the graph, we will get it very easily. So see, now I am taking the velocity on the y-axis, time on the x-axis. First what's going on, particularly at the rest, and next constant rate. Okay, constant rate with alpha, it is accelerating. So okay, constant rate, here the uniform acceleration, it is moving with the uniform acceleration. The graph between the velocity and the time for uniform acceleration, see now this is the straight line passing through the origin. Why? Because initially it is at the rest. The rate also the given, that means the acceleration also the given, a1 equal to the alpha. So now here it is accelerating, so velocity is increasing. At one point velocity will become maximum. After that point again it is decelerating, so decelerating with the beta rate. Okay, so here decelerating and becoming 0. Okay, velocity is becoming 0. Here rate of acceleration or deceleration are not same, so that's why the time taken to reach from rest to the maximum, or the time taken by the body to reach to the rest position from the max, it should not take the same timings. Okay, na? Rate of accelerations are different, alpha here, beta is there. So from here to here, rest to the maximum, it is taking the t1 time, and maximum to the rest taking the t2 time. They given total time equal to the t, that means the total time t equal to the t1 plus t2. Okay, na? So from this graph we have to find the t1 and the t2 and substitute in this condition, we will get the answer. Okay, now see the velocity time graph. Okay, the slope of the velocity time graph will give the acceleration. Okay, so the slope, so what is the slope of this, what is the acceleration here? Alpha. So slope will give the acceleration. With how much acceleration it is accelerating means with alpha. Okay, so slope equal to the, here suppose angle theta, tan theta equal to the opposite side by the adjacent side, we will say, opposite side is nothing but the, so here after certain time it will become maximum velocity. Now this is indicating the Vmax. Okay, this is the Vmax, and from here to here time is the t1. So now slope alpha equal to the opposite side by the adjacent. Slope is nothing but the tan theta only now. So tan theta equal to the Vmax by t1. So Vmax by t1. So slope is nothing but here alpha. So alpha equal to Vmax by t1. T1 equal to the Vmax by alpha. Same way we have to do this one also. Here also something angle is there. Okay, so tan theta equal to opposite side by this one. So tan theta is nothing but the slope. Slope of this is nothing but the beta. Slope is nothing. The slope of the velocity time graph will give the acceleration. So acceleration here is nothing but the beta. So slope beta equal to the Vmax by t2. Vmax by t2. From this t2 equal to the Vmax by beta. Okay, t1 value we found and t2 value we found. And the next the condition is total time equal to the t1 plus t2. So substitute here t equal to t1 value we found Vmax by alpha, t2 is the Vmax by beta. So now in these terms Vmax is the common 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. Simplify this one and send to this side, we will get Vmax equal to the alpha beta by alpha plus beta into t. Alpha beta by alpha plus beta into t. So if we get the acceleration some time, deceleration some more time, and they are asking the maximum velocity, means if we go through the graph we will get it very easily. Okay, next see the next question. An aeroplane moves 400 meter towards north, 300 meter towards west, and then 1200 meter vertically upwards. Then its displacement from the initial position is wanted like given this question. Easy question. So see now I am drawing the graph here. See this side is the east, this side is the west, here north, here south. Okay, this is the vertically upward direction, that is inside. Okay, thus this one we have to compare with the coordinate system. That means here this is nothing but the x axis, this is the y axis, and this is the z axis. So first an aeroplane moves 400 meter toward the north. Toward the north side we consider this is the y axis, this is nothing positive y axis. So 400 j, okay, j cap meters in the north direction. Next 300 meter toward the west means this side. So 300 meter, x equal to this, I consider x axis, it is moving negative x minus 300 I cap. And then 1200 meter vertically upward means z axis, so positive direction only upward, downward means negative z axis we have to consider. So z equal to, here I am taking 1200 k cap. Now position vector I am going to write r cap equal to, r bar equal to x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. Already we know x value, y value, z value substitute here, and magnitude of this one equal to the square root of x square plus y square plus z square. Okay na. So now x square value is minus 300 square plus y square value is 400 square, z square value is, z value is 1200 whole square. Okay, so x, y, z value substitute and simplify, we will get the answer is 300 meter. Okay na. So from the origin the displacement from initial position is equal to the how much, 300 meter. Okay, if they give this type of question, solve in this way. Okay. Okay, next question, see seventh question. A particle starts from rest and traverses a distance L with uniform acceleration. It covers the L distance with uniform acceleration, then moves uniformly over a further distance 2L. It is moving uniformly means acceleration equal to 0, and it covers 2L distance, and finally comes to rest after moving further distance 3L. So coming to rest means retarding, okay na, decelerating, and covering the 3L distance and coming to the rest position, okay, under uniform retardation. Assuming entire motion to be rectilinear motion, entire only straight line path only, the ratio of the average speed over the journey to the maximum speed on its way is. So we have to find the ratio of average speed to the maximum speed on this whole journey. Okay na. So this type of questions already previously we discussed one question. So if they give data like this, we have to draw the graph, then we will get it very easily. So see now I am drawing the graph between the velocity and time period. So first it cover the L distance with uniform acceleration. So uniform acceleration means the graph between the velocity and time is the straight line, and starting from the rest na, so it is passing through the origin. So uniformly, with uniform acceleration it cover the L distance, it reaches to the after some time velocity will become maximum. Okay, so now after covering the L distance, then what's going on? Then moves uniformly. It is moving uniformly means here the uniform acceleration here, but here the uniform motion. Uniform motion means, so in this case acceleration equal to the 0. So in this case acceleration equal to the positive. Okay, so acceleration equal to 0 and it is moving uniformly with a constant velocity and covering the 2L distance. Okay, next after covering the 2L distance, it is retarding and coming to the rest position. So here acceleration equal to the negative, retarding and covering the 3L distance and come to the rest position. This one, this is the graph I drawn. So first to reach the maximum velocity, it is taking the t1 time and it is continuously moving with that velocity and covering the 2L distance in t2 time, and next to retarding and covering the 3L distance, so taking the time of t3 time. Okay, now so now average velocity, the ratio of average velocity to the maximum velocity, maximum speed we have to find. Average speed is nothing but the total distance by total time. So total distance how much? First it covered L distance, next it covered 2L distance, next it covered 3L distance. Okay, L plus 2L plus 3L by, so to cover L distance taking t1 time, to cover 2L distance taking t2 time, to cover 3L distance taking t3 time. So total distance upon the total time I written here. So L plus 2L plus 3L is the 6L by t1 plus t2 plus t3. So this is the equation number 1 we can assume. Okay, next see now, here they given the length. So in the previous problem they given the acceleration. Okay, for the velocity and time graph, slope will give the acceleration and area under that graph will give the distance. Okay, now so area under this curve will give the this distance. How much distance it covered with this acceleration? L distance. Now area of this one we have to find. So first case I am taking. So area under this one will give the distance. So how much distance it covered? L. So L equal to the, so area of this one is how much? Half into base into height. So half into base. What is the base? Time t1 into what is the height? This height is nothing but the maximum velocity. So V max. Okay, this area is giving the distance. What is the distance? L. So area is nothing but the L equal to half into base into height. From this one t1 I found t1 equal to 2L by V max. For this one also we have to find same way. Okay, na? So area under this graph will give the distance covered by the body. How much distance it covered? 2L. So 2L equal to the area. Area equal to how much? This is the rectangular shape, length into breadth. So length is the T2, breadth is the V max. So T2 into V max, T2 equal to 2L by V max. And next for this graph also. Okay, area under this one you will give the distance. How much distance it covered? 3L. So distance is nothing but the area. So 3L equal to area ka formula half into base is T3 and height is V max. T3 into V max. From this also we have to find the T3. T3 value is 6L by V max. Now T1 value, T2 value, T3 value substitute in this equation number 1. From equation number 1, V average equal to the 6L by T1 plus T2 plus 3. 6L by T1 value is 2L by V max. T2 value is 2L by V max, T3 value is 6L by V max substituted. Now 6L by, in this denominator L by V max is the common, L by V max common, either 2, either 6, 2 plus 6. Now 6L by L into either 2 plus 6 is nothing but the 10, V max I am writing upside V max. So now they are asking the average speed to the maximum speed. So then this maximum speed to this side, V average by V maximum equal to 6L by 10L. LL will be cancelled. 6 by 10 is nothing but 3 by 5. So 3 by 5. If we go through the graph, we will get very easily, and if you practice this problem, you can do within the 1 minute. Okay, next to see the one more question. A juggler keeps on moving 4 balls in one, throwing the balls after regular interval. When ball leaves his hand, when one ball leaves his hand, the position of the other balls and the speed of the ball also they given 20 meter per second. He is throwing the balls with the 20 meter per second. Already you know that one, they are taking the 4 balls. He is throwing 1 ball. Okay, next immediately 1 more ball. Like this he is throwing the balls. He is taking here 4 balls. So first ball is throwing and again reaching to the maximum height coming to his hands. How much time it is taking to reach to his hands? Again that we have to find. So here see now, speed they given 20 meter per second. With 20 meter per second he is throwing the ball, it reached to the maximum height and again it reached to his hands. So total time of flight we have to find. So total time of flight T equal to the 2U by G. So T, U with how much velocity he is throwing? 20 meter per second. So time period equal to the 4 seconds. That means here he has the 4 balls. So he is throwing the first ball. So first ball is going to maximum height and reaching to his hand. So to complete its journey, it is taking the 4 seconds time. So that means if he throw the first ball, after 1 second he will throw the second ball, after 1 second again he will throw the third ball, after 1 second he will throw the fourth ball, and the first ball will come into his hands. Okay na? So here he is throwing the balls with regular intervals. Okay na? Throwing the balls with regular intervals. So to suppose first ball he is throwing, to reach the first ball to his hands, it is taking the 4 seconds. So means the interval between the successive two balls is nothing but the 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. So first ball to second ball 1 second, second to third ball 1 second, third to fourth ball 1 second, fourth to one ball is the 1 second, 1 second time interval. See now, first ball to second ball 1 second, second to third ball 1 second, and that means first ball to third ball 2 seconds, and first ball to fourth ball 3 seconds. Okay, after 4 seconds again first ball will come to his hand. Okay, now we have to find the position of the second ball, third ball, fourth ball. Okay, suppose first ball is reached to hand, then second ball is 1 second away from this one, and third ball is 2 seconds, and fourth ball is 3 seconds away. Okay, like this. Now distance of the second ball I have to find. So S equal to ut plus half at square formula we have to use. So second ball ka position, second ball ka position is S2 equal to ut, it is upward direction projector na, so A equal to minus G, we can write ut minus half gt square. Okay, so now u value is 20 meter per second, and the second ball at 1 second, 1 second away from this one. So 1 second, time period is 1 minus half, A value is 10, G, A equal to G, 10, T square means 1 square, simplify we will get the 15 meters. Okay, second ball ka position 15 meter, and third ball ka position from here, this is the reference, third ball ka position at what time it is 2 seconds away from this one. Okay, so now at 2 seconds the position of that one is, third ball ka position is S3 equal to upward direction na, ut minus half at square, A place mein I am writing the minus G. So now u value is 20, time equal to from here to here, here to here 1 second, here to here 1 second, total time is the 2 seconds. So time is 2 minus half into A value is 10, T square means 2 square. So 20 into 40 minus half, 2 1 so 2 5, 5 into 2 square means 4, 20, 40 minus 20, 20 meter. Third ball ka position is 20 meter. Okay, now S4. So S4 ka position we have to find. So from here to the here, how much, what is the time interval between the first and fourth ball? 3 seconds. So position of this one is ut minus half at square. So u is the 20, time period is the 3 seconds. So half into A value is the 10, T square means 3 square. So 20 into 3 60, 2 1 so 2 5, 5 into 3 square means 9, 9 into 5 45, 15 meter. So 15 meter position, that means it is in the return, okay, reverse direction. Okay, so here the positions of the second, third, fourth ball ka position 15 meter, 20 meter, 15 meter. B option is the right answer. In this way you have to solve the problem. Okay, next to see the questions based on the graphs. Okay, so here I drawn the 4 graphs between the displacement and the time. Once you see the first graph may see, this is the open, that means this opens are upside, okay, upside parabola. So if the graph between the displacement and time is upside parabola, remember direct I am telling you acceleration is the positive. Okay, and next if the graph between the displacement and time graph is downside parabola, throughout this one acceleration equal to the negative. Okay na, remember this one, these 2 points, sometimes they will give this graph or this graph, they may ask the question. Okay, now see here the slope of the xt graph, displacement and time graph will give the velocity. Okay na, so draw the tangential. Suppose here is tangential, if we draw on here, so velocity, the slope is the negative, so velocity is negative here, slope is negative here, slope is negative, slope here I am writing, okay, slope is negative. Slope is negative means velocity is opposite direction to the acceleration. Velocity and accelerations are opposite, so velocity is decreasing, here the slope is, in this point slope is 0 means velocity will become 0, and next here the slope is positive means velocity and acceleration both are in the same direction. Okay na? So throughout this one acceleration is positive, but here slope is negative means velocity is negative. Velocity is negative means opposite to the acceleration. If it is opposite to the acceleration, velocity decreases, and after some time it will become the 0. Okay na? 0. After that slope is positive. Slope is positive means it is moving in the direction of the acceleration. Acceleration also positive, slope also positive. Slope will give the velocity. Velocity is positive, acceleration positive. Both are moving in the same direction. So this is the accelerated motion. It is in the accelerated motion. Okay, suppose if they ask this type of graph, then for if the parabola is upward parabola, then acceleration is the positive. If the parabola is downward, then acceleration is the negative. In this throughout this motion also acceleration is the negative. Suppose if we consider this one, okay, so here the slope is positive. If slope is positive, velocity is positive. Here velocity is positive, acceleration is negative, opposite to each other. So now velocity decreases gradually, and here the velocity will become 0. Why? Because here slope equal to the 0. If slope equal to 0 means velocity equal to the 0. And the next, in this case, slope is negative. Slope is negative, acceleration also negative. That means both are moving in the same direction, accelerated body. Okay, remember this case. And next, this third graph, the graph between the displacement and the time graph, this is the straight line. Okay, uniform motion. Okay, so if the graph between the displacement and time graph is a straight line, then the body is in the moving with the uniform velocity. If it is moving with the uniform velocity, acceleration equal to the 0. Okay, and the fourth graph, see now, fourth graph may the graph between the displacement and time graph, here this is parallel to the time axis. That means with respect to the time, it is not displacing. If it is not displacing, velocity equal to the 0. Velocity equal to the 0, acceleration also equal to the 0. Remember these 4 graphs. Okay, based on these graphs, I have given one question here. See now, the time dependence of the lengths of the paths of two bodies moving a straight line is given by curves P and Q respectively. Then okay, here the given one graph is P, this is the P, and this one is the Q. S is nothing but the displacement, T is the time. This is the displacement time graph, and P and Q. Okay, so curve Q correspond to acceleration or deceleration are the given. So that curve acceleration or deceleration we have to find. So if the graph between the displacement and the time graph is upward parabola accelerated and downward parabola decelerated. Okay, so now see this one I am extending. Okay, I am extending like this I am getting the upward parabola. Upward parabola means in this case acceleration equal to the positive. Acceleration equal to positive means accelerated motion. The motion of the Q particle is accelerated motion at the Q point. Now see, if I extend this one like this, I am going to get, okay, this is nothing but the downward parabola. If I get the downward parabola, acceleration is the negative. Okay, either acceleration equal to the negative, decelerated motion. So now curve Q correspond to the decelerated motion. Q is not decelerated, positive means accelerated, so A option is the wrong. B, curve P correspond to accelerated motion. P for acceleration is negative, we are getting downward parabola, so this is also wrong, not accelerated motion, that is the decelerated motion. Say velocity at the end of the motion is more for the body corresponding to Q. So here at this point, okay, slope is, we are getting the positive. Okay, slope is positive means at this point the motion slope positive and velocity also positive, acceleration also positive, both are moving in the same direction. Motion is more. Okay, na, motion is more, the motion is increases. Now in this case, here the slope is, for this P also slope is positive only, but acceleration is negative, but moving in the opposite direction, both are in the opposite direction, velocity is decreasing. At the Q, velocity is increasing, both are moving in the same direction, positive. Here velocity is positive, acceleration is negative, so opposite direction, velocity decreases. So velocity at the Q is more, velocity at the P is less. So velocity at the end of the motion is more for the body corresponding to Q. So at the Q, velocity is more, right option. C. Okay, now C is the right option. Like this you have to solve. Okay, next question, see, the velocity versus time graph of linear motion is shown in the figure. Okay, the velocity and the time graph they given, the displacement and distance from the origin after 8 seconds respectively. So distance and displacement they are asking after the 8 seconds. So if they give the graph, so slope of the velocity and the time graph will give the acceleration, but area under the velocity and time graph will give the distance or displacement. Okay, see now first I am going to find the area covered by the part above the time axis. Okay, area of this one I am going to find, area of A1. A1 equal to, area under this graph will give the length, so length equal to distance. Okay, area equal to the distance. Area ke formula this one, this is the trapezium shape, so half into sum of the parallel sides. This parallel side is the 4, this side is nothing but the 2, so 4 plus 2 into height equal to how much? 4. So from that we will get the 12 meters. So area under this graph will give the distance, and distance equal to the 12 meters. Now here see, now this area also we have to find, this is the area A2. A2 will give the next distance L2, okay, area under that graph will give the distance L2 equal to half into, so 4 to 8, this is also trapezium shape only, sum of the parallel sides, from here to here 4 plus, so this is the 4.5 and here it is the 7.5, 7.5 minus 4.5 is nothing but the 3, this length of this side is the 3. Okay na, so now 4 plus 3 into height, this height is nothing but the given 2, okay, into 2, 7 meters. Okay na, so this area and this area will give the distance, here the distance equal to the 12 meters, area of this one is the 7 meters, area is nothing but the distance. Okay, now see what's going on here, it is in the positive, above the positive x-axis and this one is the below this, that means this is the positive and this one is the negative. So after 4 seconds what's going on, from 0 to 4 it is in the it is going in this direction, it covered the how much distance, 12 meter distance it covered. So whenever the graph is striking the time graph, that place the velocity is becoming 0, here the velocity is becoming 0. So that means after traveling the 12 meters the velocity will become 0 and change its direction, it is in the downward, no? So change its direction and move toward its initial position only. How much distance covered here, L2 equal to 7 meters, from here it covered the again 7 meters. Okay na? This is the starting point, it moved 12 meter and velocity will become 0 and after that it return and travel the 7 meters. Okay na, it's 7 meter. Now they are asking the distance and displacement, distance equal to the total length traveled by the body. So first 12 meters plus 7 meters, 19 meters distance traveled by the body. Second, displacement equal to, displacement is nothing but the shortest length between the initial and final. Initial is the here, finally now reach it to here. What is the length between these 2 points? Total is the 12, this one is the 7. 12 minus 7 will give the 5 meters. Displacement equal to the 5 meters. So displacement is the 5, distance is the 19 meters. C is the right option. Okay, like this you have to solve the problems. Okay, thank you.